What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. Let's see what we got here. Start fighting with these machines. Let's reboot this computer. I don't know how many times today. Here's my headphones. So I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. We're going to talk about the DOIOs and their Hitpad series that we reviewed this week. That went actually really good. I had a lot of fun with the standard. That should be the full Series 1 lineup there. And I've got our early Alex. We got some family things going on. This is going to be kind of cool. Just hang out and chat for a bit before I take off. So we can get everything set up here. There we go. Change my view here so I could see. But yeah, then I'll lay out. So we're going to talk about the Mini. We're going to talk about the standard. I should probably take the stands off, shouldn't I? Let's put it this way. So we got our Mini, we got our standard, and then we've got our Pro that I'll put over here in a second. There we go. Let me take the stands off. So we'll put the Pro on top. Put the standard to the side. And then we'll take the Mini right here. There we go. Make sure we have our signs. We got to keep our Leverless Talk series going on here. Sin, what's going on, brother? Hanging out, man. Hanging out before I take off and go hang out with some family. So it's going to be a fun, short stream, but just a fun short stream. Just talk about what we got here. I'm excited for tomorrow's review that's coming out. Something new. Slide this back. Let's put this over here. There we go. Put that there. I hope you're having a good weekend. I made sure to shout you out in the ASI chat. That 3D printed. I was going to share your picture, but I want to make sure you got the credit and share it yourself. So I thought that was really cool. And yours came out way better than mine. But yeah, shout out to Sin Written Soul for putting that out. That was really cool. And I actually upgraded mine to firmware 0710. And then I saw Mitch's comment. I need to do the. I checked the GB2040 server and I realized, oh, there's another update. It's Friday morning, right? So I had to put that out on mine. So I'll publish that one. I'll install that one pretty soon. And if you want to do it, just let me know. I'll tell you how I did. It's not hard at all. And usually I wait a week, to be honest. Like just like with Apple and iPhone, all those different things, or Android, I usually wait a week before I install any updates, just to let the bugs dust and settle. Because I mean, we all test, right? But there's always something that comes out that someone finds, right? So usually I try to wait. And this time I installed it quick. I didn't break it. Everything's fine. GB2040 is still stable. Nothing went wrong. It's just I did it early. So yeah, I'll probably wait. But yeah, so everything is clear now. Now I can chit chat here. And I'd also want to talk about the firmware on these guys. So we're going to kind of get all into it. So what did we do this week? This week, like I said, was a DOIO Hitpad. Let me click something here. Yeah, no problem, no problem. So we have here. So we have the Mini, right? And their Mini, I think, is really well put together. I think all these are well put together. Like they're all metal on top. I mean, I'm sure I can probably hear that. It's loud. Like it kind of hurts my finger hitting. And the acrylic on the bottom. So if you were to drop it, why is it insufficient space? Oh, I didn't delete my trash can. Whoops. It's fine. There's nothing really to record on this stream. Just kind of hanging out. OBS is telling me we're running out of space. But that's fine. Let's turn that back on. There we go. So the Mini, like I said, it's really nice. It gives folks what they really want. If you want that keyboard feel, you're going to find it right here, right? And it has... Where's my camera? Which camera am I looking at here? I can't see. There we go. Now I can see. We're on this camera. Yep. So there, and I have some notes in the bottom that I'll bring up in just a minute while I have notes down here. But yeah, this thing, and actually I started testing this as a keyboard function. So when I'm cutting and editing videos now, I put in keyboard mode and I'm able to slice and cut and fast forward, rewind, all those things. It's so small and fits on my desk. I was like, that's kind of cool. So that's there. And I put the lanyard on here. So it's really nice. And I think folks that look for this style are really going to like this option because it really does a good job of serving its purpose. I have 3 of this style. I have 2 exactly this style and 1 that's basically the same, right? And as far as build quality, this is number 1, hands down. And then in use, I mean, they all feel the same. These is GATERONs. The other one has Kailhs, different things like that. So yeah, it's really nice. And then we get to the Hitpad standard, and I took off the stock keycaps here just because for me, when you're playing, they actually feel really light. The 3D printed, they feel really light. They feel nice, but they're for my fingers. I don't know. I just like the texture and the feel and the response. Like when I really slam, these give me more feedback for whatever reason. I don't know. So I just want it less feedback. And it's a metal case, right? So you're getting a lot of feedback anyway. So I want it less. So I took that off and put just the standard caps on there, right? And I didn't know what color to go with, so I've done so many different colors. So I went with the white, some kind of simple but different. The screen on here is like a white and black also, so I popped that on there. Got the home and start buttons in white. And again, this one as well is the acrylic on the bottom, right, with the metal finish. And this one, they both, I mean, you can bend them, they feel really nice. Like and I love the 2 USB-C ports on all these pads. Like that's a huge feature. I don't think people really realize that, but you know, you put your plug in here, you'd be surprised. You may step on it. Like one of my controllers, when I first got it, I stepped on it by accident, the cord, and it yanked it out. And I was like, oh my God, I broke the port. Luckily it didn't break, but it's so common. It's nice to have the 2. And I really wish all the vendors did at least 2, because Tiki-Taka is the best. Tiki-Taka had 3, which is really nice. They were missing some things, but as far as that, they were really good on that, right? So I wish Hot 42 and all the other brands just have 2. And I love how ASI, $10, you replace the PCB, so you get a full new pad, right? So let's see, so it's a leverless and macro board now. Still the application for that board. Facts, right? And then when I want to go back to game, I just hold down this button here and plug it back in. And when I was playing with this one, I test these small ones. My hands, I wear a XXX riding glove. My hands are huge, right? So this thing barely fits in my hand. When I put in the other mode, my son likes to play Castle Crashers and things like that on the Xbox. I'll use these to play that. So I'll kind of sit there and hold it. And usually I play like this, like a regular D-pad, or I'll just kind of put on my lap and kind of do like this. It's all side to side mostly, right? But for Tekken, when I'm really trying to get it in, I'm not the target audience for this, but as someone who's not the target audience, I can still appreciate and respect, because I've had some experience and define this is good or bad. It is good. Like the build quality, you could truly hang this on your backpack, and I would not be stressed about this thing, because even the height, the switches sit really kind of flush, right? They actually lower in here into the case. They're well protected, so yeah, it's really nice. But the switch puller that comes with these things, I have it in a bag. I'll grab one of those. The switch puller with all these is trash. You don't want it. So this switch puller right here, this is the coolest looking switch puller I've seen. This thing is nice. It looks nice. It works, but it doesn't work. It looks super. If it was made out of metal, it would work perfectly, right? In Ichiru, that's a cool name. Is it? Am I saying that right? In Ichiru? Does it have a USB port inside? I have the DOIO Hitpad compact, and I put in Booter 5 inside. Okay, we're gonna get to yes, it does. All these have the pass-through port here, right? Oh, where's that? Or here, I'm sorry, it's right here. But there's a problem. And Ichiru, we're going to talk about it right now, right? So there's a problem. So power pass through, power here, nothing around the rest of the sides. You know, metal on top, acrylic on the bottom, right? The Hitpad standard. And these are all the version 1s. So Hitpad standard, all the buttons here. This is the stock keycap. You can see the tape on here. Fun fact for those that watch, I have large hands, so my thumb sits right here. So all my 16 buttons, I pull this switch out and I tape it down. Usually I tape across it, but this time I'm using double-sided tape under. We'll see how that works out, because I want to lose the keycaps, so I'm trying that out. But anyway, again, nothing on the side, nothing on the bottom. Power and pass-through on the side, whereas this one's on the top, right? And then here, the power's on the top. And then I install my own cable manager for all my pads, because it came like a 20 pack, so I just use them all. I have it clear and black, and there are links in the description for all that stuff, right? And then I switch the keycaps out just something different, and the color's black and white, so that's that. Let me see here. You pair with the Nintendo Switch. Check a small portable display. That'd be good. Actually, it's pretty smart. I could use some. My kids have the Switch too. They can use this for like Smash Bros and stuff. And then we get to the Pro, right? The Pro is my favorite of the 3. You know what's funny? I actually like this one. I'll tell you why. How wide this is. It's the exact, it looks wider on camera, but it's the exact same width. So when I was testing this out, right, I got into about hour 3 of testing this out, and I started realizing, wait a minute, I had this on my lap and I'm not getting cramped. Why is that? Well, it's wide. So even though it's not as tall and I like to rest my wrist somewhere, it wasn't bothering me because at least it sat comfortably on my lap. Because usually I don't play at the table, I play on my lap, like right over here. You can't see it to the side, I play over there on a chair. So I was like, wow, that's really nice. So yeah, in the medium class, Speedy Labs is very high on my list for the medium sized. I mean, we all know the M from Half-Rate 2, that's high on my list. But the Speedy Labs is nice because it's compact, comes with a case, and you know, all those things. Speedy Labs killing it. But this one stuck out to me just by the width. I was like, oh wow, it's really wide. I like that. And I'm going to talk about the firmware in just a second, about the pass-through port, because I got something big to say about that. Then we get to the Pro. This is the one I started on, ironically. So I started here, went here, and then came to here. So I kind of went like on a weird, you know, loop oval. This one, I really like this one. This one's really nice. It's comfortable. Only thing, if I had known they had a version 2, I didn't know at the time, I would have bought the version 2. That way I could put the Kailh switches. Because the GATERONs, I think these are the red GATERONs. Yeah, so I put these versions of red GATERONs in here. These GATERONs are actually really nice because I don't even like reds half the time. They're kind of mushy. These are not mushy. These snap back very well. They're very fast. So I was like, wow. So once I got used to it, I was like, oh, I don't have any more problems. This is really nice. I left those in. I pulled, again, you can see I pulled that one. It's kind of flopping around there because I always pull it out. It's got I put some grip tape on the bottom of all my pads here. It has the numbers. Mine had it inside the motherboard itself. I opened it up and put the authenticator inside. So it's permanent. You open this up and put it inside. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, Andrew, I'm about to get to the point about this pass-through port. I'm getting there because I got some questions for you too. So I switched the aftermarket keycaps. Just so I was trying to put some color on here, right? So I was like, let me go red, and I was going to go blue. I think the red was nicer. So I got the red, the blacks, and then the stock on the switch. I don't really use it with the stock on. I always change my home and start to red and clear. So you guys, if you have any pads, like it comes in a box half the time, put a red and a clear. And I tell you that because as you switch your pads around, like today I'm gonna use this one, tomorrow that one, you're gonna forget where home and start is. Just home is always red, start's always clear. Or this one, you know, at least I know it's one of these two because they're both clear, right? So something to think about. And again, the pass-through port is right here on the side, powers on the top, on the side, and a power on the top. So I love the dual powers on the pass-through port. The M has the best pass because the Half-Rate 2 M puts it up here. I like that better. But with this one here, it doesn't get in the way at all. With the booter in here, you don't even notice it. So I love that. And to your point, Chiru, you put a booter inside, right? So it's even better. Okay, so now let's get to the meat of things here. So this week I put the video for this one out. That concluded the series of version 1s, and then I put the video out comparing the 3 the best I could, you know, on the table, just giving you guys a live view of what it looks like to hold them all, feel them all, blah blah blah. And again, I make a huge point to say this switch puller that comes in the box looks the coolest compared to what comes with some other pads. Like this one's just a stock out the box when it comes with other ones. The wire here and the teeth, right? So you put the wire in and you just wiggle it and they'll pop right off. Even with these, you stick the wire in here and I can scoop, look, it's already in there. I can scoop it, it'll pop right out, right? And then once you get it out, you take this side, you pinch, you see it's bent because you pinch really hard. You pinch and just wiggle, 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 it comes right out. This thing is trash. It looks beautiful, but it's plastic teeth. So they never, and look, they don't fit. They don't fit. I'm like mashing. You have to like slam it down, right? So I guess it does fit. Now I'm doing a lot of fits. Then you get down here. Let's try this side. Let's see if I can get the switch out of here. No, this is not coming out. Like, if there's a trick that I don't know, because I'm hugging this thing pretty tight and it's not coming out. So you can get your caps out, which is actually kind of cool. Okay, so that works. I didn't know that. That does work. Shibuya may cry. That's called Shibuya may cry. I think the Pro version 2 has 3 total USB ports. The third one, oh wow, so that's even better. So definitely, I think the Pro. Well, these two are okay. Neither one's my favorite because I'm not going to say that because as far as in your hands, they're all metal and acrylic on the bottom, right? So, and I have a newfound respect for this because I didn't realize you just slide it down. But the switch puller does not work. I quote that. I will stick to that. Right? You need metal teeth to get the actual switch out. So now let's get to some things I ran into. And I put a video on Friday saying about the firmware. The issue I had, Ichiro, I wonder if you had the same issue. And I've seen this with other DOIOs. The firmware out the box is not stable. And what do I mean? If I go to the web configurator, you get out the box. I go to web configurator. They came with version 077. Fine, no issues. We on GB24 is fine, right? I went to change the colors. So like I want to put, I usually put different splash screens on all my pads just to personalize it. And then the colors, I might change them, I might not. But either way, you change anything, I'll turn off. So, and also I think Sin Written Souls knows I turn the turbo button off because I never use it. So I turn this off. I turn it into a function button now. So I have that set up. So all in that way. This one, I did it. I unplugged. I only changed like 2 things. Unplugged it. And next thing I know, the screen was black. And some of the buttons worked, some didn't. I was like, oh God, what did I just do? And this is before I knew anything. I start going down the rabbit hole to about 3 in the morning, which I should have been going to sleep, right? I found another site for them. Like I ended up figuring things, and I had enough pads to compare settings. Like, look, so then I got into the boot cell, so I boot celled it, flash snooped it. I kind of had to figure out what to do, so I put the Pico firmware on here, and then it came back up. It's like, oh, perfect, it's back up. So then I held start. I went to web configurator. Start didn't work. Start didn't work. So now I'm freaking out, and I'm bringing this up also because as I'm looking up DOIO on YouTube, this is recently, just checking to see how my review's doing, I ran across another guy in Japan, or he's in Korea, I'm sorry, in Korea. And he had the same issue where it, again, it was not, he did the same thing, he had the same issue essentially, but he didn't realize what I did was I plugged it in, I held start, didn't work. I did home, it didn't work. Then I got the select and it did work. So for me, in my mind said, look, just go one by one until you figure out, I'm gonna hold every button on this pad so I figure out which one works. And luckily what I found out is on all 3 of these DOIOs out the box, if you do a flash nuke, select becomes start and start becomes select. No big deal. Once you get in, you can reset everything, but that's just a warning, right? So then I get in there, and now you're seeing the pin numbers down here. So Ichiru, like he was saying, he put his pass reports right here, right? Which is pin 26 on all 3 of these. You can see all 3. I labeled all of them. There's 26, right? Pin 26 is that. And actually, I should bring the web configurator to show y'all how I set it, right? So pin 26 is the pass report. And why'd I bring that up? Out the box, the pass report was not turned on. You have to turn that on yourself, right? And your first thought is, well, that sucks, but it didn't. And here's why. Out the box, it's in X input mode. You have an adapter. You just connect the adapter to the cord, plug to your console, plug this here, press home start, and it works just fine. Like it'll play out the box, no issues. Like there's nothing wrong with these things. They're perfect, right? But if the firmware, I think it's the machine that's pushing the firmware to the pads, maybe it's timing short. I don't know, right? But to have it 3 times over and then off network, you guys don't know. Behind the scenes, I got reached out to about 4 people that were like, "Hey, I'm having this issue," and then like I said, I saw the guy on YouTube, so that's 5, right? Well, 4 to 5. So that just tells me that's what it is, because once I went to their site, I was able to download Pico, flash nuke, install Pico, and I had no issues. I put Pico in here and they're working just fine. Let me get into what I did. Let me check the chat real quick. Didn't have any issues, but I bought it from a Chinese seller with firmware 079. Right. So I bet you that Chinese seller knows, Ichiru. I bet you they know that out the box, their machine just doesn't push stable builds. And again, it's not a knock on them. There's nothing wrong with the product. Like I'm still using them. So you guys have seen me do tournaments things. So I'm trying to be real clear because I don't want people to get the wrong impression, or walk in like this last second here that I said something crazy. That's not what I'm saying. Everything's fine. It's just, if you plan to change anything, which most of us do, let me show you what the download. I'll show you right now with the download. I'm gonna check the chat in 2 seconds. Let me show you what you need to download real quick. Here's what you need. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Google. You're gonna put GP2040 CE releases, right? You're gonna click right here. Boom. There's the latest release will always be at the top. So what do you know? 0710, right? Click the release. Just scroll down. You're gonna see assets. And this is actually a big, look at all these notes. This is a huge release. And fun fact, your boy's in here as well. I'm one that's LED layouts. I'm in there. That was cool. Right. But so right here, there's your flash nuke, right? And then you're gonna want the Pico, the regular Pico version, right there. That's all you need, right? So does my plug still here? I do. I can show you all. So look, I'll come here and show you what it looks like. Give me a second. I'm gonna hold start. We'll connect this. Boom. Got sets in there. Oh, I'm on the wrong computer. Y'all can't see. Never mind. Let me come back to my screen. But where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? There it is. Come back. Okay, so now we're back. Right. I was gonna show y'all, but I have 2 PCs side by side, and I could unplug one of my cameras to show you the web configurator, but if y'all want to see it, let me know and I'll show you. Actually, I should. Let me just walk out through it. You didn't have, so yours came out good. So good, yours came out good. Send. Also, the pin mapping is set up peculiar. I don't know if I call it peculiar. It's almost like the board has a layout, and then they put their definitions on top. So the board has this is that. You know, there's laid out. and they define, look, we want our pin 26 to be this pass-through port, and they lay everything out. So yeah, it's not an issue. It's more like if you bought something out the shelf, like a laptop, you buy it and you customize the way you want it, right? Itchy, mine was in the center of the board, not outside. Yours is in the center, really? Oh, but you have version 2, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, you have version 2. Send reloading the configuration backup may work as well. Facts. So, and that's a good point. So I made a backup before I went to wiping everything, right? I did do that for sure. But that was something that, because the first time it happened, I thought it was me, because I did it on this. I was like, what did maybe I clicked something wrong, I did something weird. And then this one came in, and I was like, okay, I should have recorded myself. I was like, I'm gonna record myself doing it, and you forget, you start getting busy. So I just went ahead and did it, or changed the colors, just something simple. And then I did it again. I was like, what the heck? Or I changed the splash, something basic I just did, and it freaked out. But I knew how to fix it at that point. And then this one showed up, and again, something small, and then I knew, okay, now I know. 1, 2, 3. And I'm getting comments. It's not me. It's just the firmware. And then here Ichiru saying, hey, I got another one from out of China, and that it came with 079. That tells me that either version 2 is coming with 079 out the box, which is fantastic, or you know what, Ichiru? You know what I bet probably happened? These are probably older stock, because these are version 1s. So I bet you they're older stock. That firmware pusher has an issue, right? And that's probably what it was. Whereas you buy version 2, because when I went to their website, they're sold out, right? So they're refilling their stock. So they're pushing 079 in the newer ones, and I bet you they're getting a better push. Because I let them know, it's like, hey, I've seen this 3 times over now. You might want to look into this. So I wonder that's what it is. So that's good. They're fixing it. So that's a good thing to see, right? But once you reload it, it's phenomenal. And let me unplug this. Okay, good. So let me plug this over here. And just so we all keep the same vein in this, or same tone in this conversation, right? We're not here to bash any vendors, because look, they're all working hard to develop a product and sell a product that we all like. There's products I told you guys I don't like, and it's not here in front of me, but I told you about that one. It was a 3D printing pad that I recommend not buying anymore, right? When I first got it, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. But now I have more experience. Like, I tell folks, don't buy that. Just buy, something. There's other things you could buy for the same experience, right? So with these are fine. Just reload the firmware. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. Reload the firmware, right? And then you'll be off to the races. So I'm gonna plug this in, hold start, boom. Now let's come over here. Here we go, boom. So you guys should be able to see here. Oh, I forgot I put 710 on here, so boom, it's already updated to the latest. So here's 710, right? So I went ahead and loaded that on here. But when you come in here, what's gonna happen is it's right here in peripheral mapping. And what's funny is on Hot 42s and really any ASI, all the different things, dual pads, you never come in here because it just kind of works. When you come in here the first time, this is going to be turned off. It's going to look like this. And actually, it's going to say, I think unset's what it said. Let me see here. Yeah, it says unset. It's going to look just like this. And then when you... Yeah, should I save? I don't want to save it. So if I save that, what's going to happen is when I come here, right? I put in PS5 mode. This will be off, and you'll get a warning message because since there is no pass-through port turned on, you can't set this. Because you're like, oh, I'll just set it here. It won't even be an option because that pin is turned off. And then the other thing you're going to run into, let me check the chat here. Okay, cool. Itchy, yeah, let me know when the video is uploaded and we'll take a look at it. Thank you. Sin, I had a similar issue when I biffed something on my Mayflash. Had to load the configs, but will provide to download for that as well, thankfully. Yeah, and when I went down the rabbit hole, I found the firmware. After I fixed everything, I found their firmware. It was kind of late, but the site felt, now they're getting everything settled. They have their Keep Monkey site. Like, everything is better than it was, 2 months ago when I first did this. This is like a while back. So with these three, and y'all can't see what I'm pointing at, but the Mini and the Hitpad, when I did those, the process, again, I knew what to do, so it was faster. But yeah, so when you come in here, what you're going to see is, where is it at? Where's that? A turbo. Turbo is going to be set to pin 15 by default. This is going to be your problem. You're like, well, what's the big deal? When you start trying to, you're not even going to come in, you're going to go straight to pin mapping and start, remapping things. This is going to say selected. So if you have the Pro with all the buttons, 15 is one of the buttons. You can't do anything with it because it's set in add-ons, right? So I had to like really dig deep to figure out, okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? I went down the rabbit hole, and then once I started figuring things out, I was like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. And I think I went to the Discord for the software. I was like, why does this say this? And they said that, and they let me know, oh, you know, just turn off 15, set turbo -1, you'll be fine. And again, it really put me at ease, and really, how do I say this? I'm what, 30 pads deep. I'm been so involved with GB2040. You know, I like the way it's made. It's a community project, but I like how simple it is, right? There's not many screens to look at. There's not a lot of things to click. You just kind of go in there, and if you need help, you can reach out to someone. And you know, I'm seeing this. Oh, you just check this one thing or turn this box off, right? And I was good to go. So I put the -1, and to be completely honest, what I've been doing lately, I've been turning off turbo. I just disable all my pads. I just disable it now. Because I know about you guys, I never push turbo button anything, so I don't need it. And if you turn it off, you're not hurting anything because it's not doing anything until you press it anyway. But I always turn on input history. The ASI LVL came with this turned on out the box, so I'd never seen, but I didn't even know it was here. And then once I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm putting this on all my pads. So all my controllers have this turned on. They have turbo turned off. And then if your controller supports, oh, another thing, I wasn't sure there's a light on this board, so I kept coming here enabling this, and I would set this to PS5 authentication. What does this do? When I connect to PS5, once it authenticates, it'll give me a solid light instead of a blinking light. Well, I didn't realize this pad doesn't have that light in the version 1, so I kept turning this, and then one of the keys would be on, and I was like, oh my god, I'm breaking stuff. But again, this was me pressing things I should have been pressing. You know, it's not the controllers, not the software. That was me being a, you know, I'm not messing with stuff. But once you set those things, you know, you'll have no issues. You'll be off to the races, and then everything starts to act way more stable, more normal. Let me check the chat here. Max, what's going on, Max? Hello, could you please tell me if the buttons on a Hitbox? Let me change my view. Sorry. Max, hey, could you please tell me if the buttons on a Hitbox with a keyboard layout, okay, this one, are placed too close to each other? I would say no. I would say no. Now, why would I say no? That is because if I unplug this guy, right? I'm like looking around, and here's why. I have long hands. I wear a XXX riding glove. So a standard, like even my laptop, a standard keyboard, if I type too long, my hands get cramped, and they hurt. They actually hurt, right? So I have to use it ergonomic. With that said, I'm already spaced out more. So that's when people ask me, oh, what do you prefer? I say the hot, you know, M plus or the T, or I have different pads I like that are spaced out just because I have a big hand, right? These are tight. And actually play with this, I had no issues, but I digress. So I'm looking around like in front of me for a standard keyboard so I can show you. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's a regular space keyboard, right? Like, where's that switch puller at? The one I was talking so much trash about, and I figured out. So to get the caps off does work. So that part does work. The puller doesn't work. You just wedge it in there. Where's it at? This one. Anyway, you can see, right? It's a regular keyboard. So and there's a lot of people that like, because one of the guys I play with, he likes the B16, which is basically this, but the B16 by Harvard 2, because he wanted the keyboard layout. And now I didn't have these at the time, so now I have this. I have the dual pad mini. I'll grab this to show you. They all feel the same. Here you go, right? So when you look at these here, here's the dual pad mini with my custom stand, shout out to me, with the DOI Hitpad mini, right? And when you look at them close, it's the exact same thing, right? Only difference is this one is slightly ergo, right? That's the only major difference. But when you look at it this way, this one is not as protected as this one. Like, see how these sit really flush? Like I said, this one being so, you just toss it. I want to say, you really could toss this around and be fine. But anyway, I don't want to like break. Whereas here is the B16, right? The B16 technically has the arrow keys here, the switches here, just like this one. Like, even the spacing is the same, right? When you look really close, they're basically the same. But this one gives you, for folks like me that like this style, I can put my thumb down here or here. You can pick, and your fingers here, or I can put up right here and you can play. But again, all three of these, this one's actually gapped a little bit wide, like barely wider. You see the little gap in there? This one is very close. I didn't even notice that. I didn't mention that. And this one's wider than all three. Oh, I should have put that in the comparison video. I did not notice that at the time. So this is the widest, this is the second widest, and this is the tightest. But in use, I'll be honest, for someone who doesn't use these, they all feel tight, right? So whatever you're looking for, they feel the same. Let me check the chat. So I hope that helps. They're fine. They feel like a regular keyboard. You're going to feel very natural on all three of these. Vice FGC, what's going on, brother? Are they running 0 to 10? So Vice, out the box, I make sure, I want to, again, clarify so no one thinks they're broken. They're not broken, they're fine. Out the box, mine are version 1s. They came with 077 out the box. With 077, the pass-through port was not turned on for all 3 out the box. For 077 out the box, you have to put an adapter on the end of the cord and plug them in. They come in X input mode, they're ready to go. But the minute you go to the web configurator and change anything and save, the software freaks out for all, not the software, the software that's been pushed to these would freak out. It's not a problem with 077. It was just, I personally think it was the software that pushed, the hardware that pushed the software to these devices. Maybe the cables was going bad. I don't know, but that was that, right? And then Ichiru was saying in here that he has the Hitpad version 2. His came with 079. So I know his didn't have any issues. So obviously the newer ones are coming with the latest firmware, so you won't have any issues. But that's something I did see on all 3 of mine that I actually had to help folks outside the streams with. And that's why I made that video for Friday, because I want to not bash anyone, because that's not what we're here to do. We're here to help, right, and provide value. So I wanted to make sure that anyone that was stuck, and just like another reviewer, I saw his review, he was kind of stuck, to help anyone in that same situation in the middle of the night get out of it. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, no problem, Vice. I see you just joined. Thank you for asking that and help me clarify that. Sin, thanks for the discords are chock full of helpful info and peeps. Facts, Sin, facts. Max, are they spaced wider than on a regular keyboard? About to say, okay, I think I answered that, Max. Let me know if I didn't answer that. I feel like I did. Vice, I wish they made a mirrored keyboard layout. I would be by that. That's a good. Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot lately. People want the mirrored, which I can see that, where you have your buttons here and your angles there, because you do get more response out of your right hand anyway. That's interesting. Yeah. Sin, Vice Mavericade has 1, I believe. Okay, good point. Sin, Keeb Fighter 02, but seems to be sold out for now. Let's check that real quick. Yeah, but using these 3, once I got the latest firmware, I was able to get back up and running and get going, because that was a little bit of a stressor where it was like, what is happening here? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow. That's cool. So you get the best of both worlds. Well, the arrows are different though. So you don't have your true, well, I take that back. You do, because it's one, you can skip the side. You can just remap it how you want it. So you do get it on both sides. I want a Mavericade, the big one, so bad. I don't have any contacts over there, but I would love to get one of these to review. The not this one though, because I don't play this style. I want, where's my wishes? Is it this guy? Or this one? It's one of these 2 I like. Yeah, I forgot which one I was really interested in, but I wish I'd gone to Evo. I probably could have ran some there and talked to them. And here you go right here. Look, boom. This one has it on both sides too. Well, this one you get to pick, but I like the one Sinrinsoul sent out because it comes out the box ready to go. I do like that better. Okay, now why can't I get back to my PC? A second here. There we go. Why is my mouse? Okay, my mouse is fighting me again. Where's my mouse? These Macs are having an attitude right now. All right, let me just put my other mouse right here, because I don't have time to fiddle with this. We'll put this here for a second. All right. Oh, it's way over there. That's why, this stupid thing. There we go. Boom. There we go. Now we're back in business. All right, so yeah, they've got this one. This one looks kind of cool. That one's kind of cool. Where's the other one at that I looked at? Because even this, I was curious about this one. This one I was really curious about too. I'm not clicking these, am I? All right, let me check the chat. Let's see here. Very nice. Q Merlin, what's going on, brother? Oh, snap. Doc in the house. What's going on, brother? Hope you're having a good Sunday. It's a short stream today. We've got some family things going on. Just hanging out. See, Vice, by the way, your reviews helped troubleshoot and helped, which hot version 2. I wanted to go. Perfect. Thank you for the support. And I'm really glad it helped you figure out, because it's the hardest thing, right? You're looking at these online and it's so hard to know which version you want to get. Even with these, right? I was hoping with this to help folks just try to figure out, okay, which model should I get? Which model's right for me? And with the hot brand, I have a new review coming out tomorrow. The Hot brand has so many options. That's even more overwhelming. So I'm really glad that it helped. What I need to do this too. So this pad here, if you notice on my channel, I have a review. Whenever I get the pad in, I compare it to all the other models. And I didn't really do it with this one because I didn't know the demand for this one yet. And at the time, I think I was busy. Something was going on where I just ran out of time. But I think when I slow down in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take a step back and put this on the table and compare it to all the Hot 42s, like just like I did the other ones. And that way, like you know, and again, a lot of this stuff too, fun fact, I'm doing it for myself. Like in a few months, I'll forget, right? So at least that way I know what I liked or how to fix things, especially that, like what's the fix for this, right? Little things like that, you know. So I'm really glad that if it helped me, I try to help you guys too. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Sin, just hit the 5/6 link to get everything on one page. Oh, okay, that's what I need to do. Okay, good call. I'll do that, Sin. Yes, let me do that. Max, you help so much. Thank you. No problem, Max. Thank you. I'm glad it helped, and I'm glad it gives you a visual. I hope you can see that it really clarifies what it is. Also, seems to me that on the Hot, keycaps might pop off easily, whereas the DIO you can easily slide without them falling off. Am I right? Let's look at this. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. All right. Here's the dual pad. This is the dual pad mini, right? So with this one, I mean, your finger could get wedged in here if you're a slider. And let's pause the conversation for a second, right? And again, I could be wrong, Max. You play this style, I don't, right? So I'm outside looking in. All right. So here's my thought. If you're looking at this style of pad, my thought is you plan to play like this, like your wrist up, and you plan to play down, right? So I'm saying that to say my assumption is you weren't planning to play it this way, right? Okay, so that's my assumption. Now we're talking the way you're asking it, right? So with that, I would not recommend this one because your fingers will wedge in here and you're gonna pop one of these out. Like it's not popping out now, it's fine. Like it doesn't creak, this thing's fine, right? But the gap is just, how wide is this thing? This gap is, yeah, it fits, boom. Like it wedges in there, but it kind of wedges in there, right? It's about that wide. So this, it's fine, but that's that. To your question, here's the Hot 42. The keycaps do not pop off. I actually have to like pull it to get these things out. So they don't. And actually it comes with extra larges and small. So because some people like this long one right here or here. So you can move it all around. So when I was playing with this, testing it, I was playing it like this. Thumb here, like a standard leverless. And they're really snappy. And then I tried a couple times like cash cards like this, but I don't really play that way. But I was able to at least test more with this, right? But the spacing here, it doesn't fit through there, right? It doesn't, you can't see, but it's, yeah, there you go. I'll try to wedge this in here. I don't have any lotion on, so bear through my ashy fingers, but yeah, it's not, right? But to the question you're asking, yes, this is the tightest, right? When I put this here, there is no gap whatsoever. But to bigger point, I probably didn't make it right. The bigger point I was trying to make with this one compared to the others is, give me focus. Give me focus, camera, please, thank you. All right. The biggest thing is, it's not really this way, it's this way. When you hold it this way, you can see how flush these sit with the top of the case, right? So there's the top of the case. Look at that. Boom, that's good. There you go, that's a view. Switches are all the same height, but see how much more metal protection you have? So to your point of sliding, you really can't slide because it's a keyboard. Like when I go down, your finger gets stuck. So I don't think, I mean, you own it, so you'll figure it out. I would fair to say I don't know. You'll figure it out. But if you were to slide, this one would be a slider. This one? No, I'm getting stuck. I wouldn't slide on this one. No, I wouldn't slide on this one. And I wouldn't slide on this one either. It's working, but I wouldn't do it. These actually, the little U for your keys, the U here is not as deep, so you can slide more on this. Like these two are the same keycaps, right? Whereas this one, they're slightly more U'd off. Like see that U there? So I hope that answers your question. But yeah, this, if you were sliding, this is probably the better one to slide on for sure. And they sit lower. Yeah, all the things. Yeah, that's the one to slide on. Yes. Question answered, right? Question answered. Let me check the chat here. DL seems like quality upgrade person. It is, yeah, the quality is really nice. It just, I just make sure I make a fair warning that the firmware, you just want, once you wipe it, you're off to the races, and you own it, right? So if you own it, you'll do it anyway. So and the other thing, remember, when you flash nuke it, the select and start will be swapped because that will freak you out. And you're like, oh god, I broke something. Just hold, you go down the line, plug it in down the line. You'll figure out which one it is to get in. Vice, any future reviews on the stuff Keybox Arcade is doing? Keybox Arcade. Let me see here. What's Keybox Arcade? Keybox Arcade. Excuse me. Keybox Arcade. Not at the moment, no. Not at the moment. Oh, these are cool. Wow, look at that. They have any? Wow, look at that. That's cool. Oh, and these have what you're looking for. These have the reverse ones you were talking about. Nice, nice, nice. I would probably look at this one if I did. Look at that. I'll have to sit and like look at these for a second. I have a question, and I'm glad you bring that up because let me turn to the camera. I do have a question about this brand that we'll talk about in a second. Let's see what we got here. Crafty, what's going on, Crafty? Oh no, I would never be able to play on those things. Yeah, they're small, Crafty. They're small, but the build quality is really nice. And the GATERONs, I never used a GATERON before. I really know what it was all about. And once I started going down the rabbit hole to fix this thing, I started learning a ton about GATERONs, right? And they are really snappy. I was shocked. And like I said, I bought the reds. I tried the silvers first. They were too mushy for me. And then I went to the red pros because it comes with reds. Those were actually surprisingly fine, right? But the red pros were like a slightly step up in my opinion. And I really like those. I do wish I had the version 2 though, where I could put like my ghosts and my wind engines. And you know, I got a new favorite switch for you guys. Look at this. I'm not supposed to talk about this till next Sunday, but I have to. I'm going to talk about it. Well, all right, I'll just tell you what this is, and next week I'm going to give you all full in depth on what I'm about to talk about. With the review coming tomorrow, it's not in that review, but I'll talk about it after it. These are the Deep Sea. Okay, these are Kailh V2 Deep Sea Islet. These are silent switches, right? But I have the silence. Let me get the other ones. Ugh. No, don't break. I'm breaking stuff. So, you know, this is outside of DOI. Well, this is for DOI version 2, but really for anything with a Kailh V2 switch, right? These Kailh V2 Deep Sea Instants are my new... The Ghost and Winds are still my favorite, but as far as like I guess a standard switch, these things are phenomenal. So here is the silence that I found, right? And I'm colorblind, so to me they're like a white or a pearl or a tan or a cream. Let me just show you all the website. But anyway, they feel fine, but in use, they started feeling something like a standard red, but just quiet. Like you don't hear anything, right? But then these bad boys, these Deep Sea Islets, and it could have been the pad I was using it on, because that pad is a little weird. So I tried the Ghost too, and I kind of didn't like the Ghost on this pad you're gonna see tomorrow. I actually prefer these. I was shocked. I prefer these. I think it's just the material. These are nice. So I have 3 new favorites now. I have the Ghosts. Let's do an order. Wind engines first, hands down. Then we have the Ghosts, and now we have the Deep Sea Islets. Like I don't even really use the reds or the crystals anymore, and these are bright. I was shocked. Like the crystals are obviously the brightest switch you could buy, right? Let's not play games. But as far as the Ghosts and Wind engines are so dark because they're covered up. These bad boys are quiet and bright. So, and these silence, they're fine, but. Yeah, no. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do real quick. Do y'all want to see a sneak peek? If y'all want to see a sneak peek, just put a sneak peek in the chat. If I don't see it, I know y'all don't want to see this for tomorrow's review. I won't. Cause I want to show you this artwork. This artwork's phenomenal. But if y'all want to see, just put a sneak peek in the chat, and I'll show you. If not, I'll let it go. You can see it. We'll talk about it next Sunday. But I had to mention that. Let me check the chat real quick. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so Merlin just installed. Oh, you did. I had to look up this foam. I'm so glad you brought that up, Key Merlin. Just install Puron foam on my big DOIO 2 version 2. So I'm so glad you said that. That's another thing. And I'm gonna preface this, right? These 3 are loud. All 3 are loud, right? But I have to preface it because no one talks about it. But the Hot 40, because I don't think they realize the Hot 42M can be a little loud, right? And here's why. It's the metal. The metal makes them a little loud. It's not a bad thing. Like you're not going to get annoyed. Your wife's not going to get mad at you, but you will notice they are louder than like a T, or like we all know the R and the Tiki Taka S15 and the R16 are my quietest pads hand down. With the Ghosts and the O-rings are quietest pads I have hands down. But now I got these silence. I might have to do some more damage and make it really quiet, but I digress. But with the metal build, you're like he said, you're going to hear it, right? So that's just what it is. Because even this, look at this. So this is the DOIO Mini. I mean, this is the dual pad Mini. These are silent. These are silent, right? Here's the Hot 42 B16. These I consider loud, but I wouldn't even call them super loud, but they're mechanical switches. They sound like a mechanical switch. They're loud. To anyone that's ever heard a mechanical switch, they're loud. Here is the Mini, the DOIO metal Mini. Like I said, these two are the loudest. Like these two here are loud. It's called spade speed. They're loud. Let me check the chat here. But yeah, let's see. Vice, yeah, Sin, swapping keycap profiles can help as well. One more thing, Merlin, this pour-on foam. I've been looking for a foam to put in these two. Like I knew that was what I need to do to soften up the impact on this metal. If you have, did you get it for AliExpress? When I looked at foam, there was like an EVA. There's all these different versions. So I'll Google pour-on foam and see if I can find it. And let me go down because I really need that actually for this. I'm glad you brought that up. So I'll pull it. Let's see here. Sen, swapped keycap profiles can help as well if the curve is the word fast. Good point. Sen makes a good point. Just change the keycaps. Yeah, they're standard keycap. All three of these are standard keycaps. So put whatever keycap you want on there. You won't have any issues. Very good point. Very good point. I'll put it like that so you can see these three keyboard styles. DSA keycaps are more flush. Cherry and OEM profiles have the slight curve. Oh, so these are definitely cherry because they're curved. Just look up keycap profile. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yeah, because these are more curved. These two are the exact same and they're less curved. So good point. Thanks, Sen. And you can see differences for your preference. Oh, nice. Vice. I think the internals are Brook. Okay. Sen, though you could take some research. Okay, that makes sense. XA keycaps may work as well. Vice, it was Silent V2. Yes, the Silent V2 is the Deep Sea. And let me pull the link up so I can show y'all. Sin, yeah, there are some affordable Peron silencers I came across. There's one for the external area of the switch, and one you can place. You know, I've run into that because the one I put in the external area, I think that's the one I got off AliExpress, like $1 for like 30 of them, and it didn't really do anything. But I think the foam under is what I really want. So yeah, those are for the external area of the switch. You can place the PCB socket. Yep, I think that's what I need. Do I worry about the effect on the board? That was the thing. That's what made me paranoid too. I didn't want the pins to be in the way or loosen a pin up or something like that. So I didn't even use them. Like I tried a couple like holes. I was like, I don't feel good about this. I just took it off. I left it alone. DOIO or DSA hints, they were all smooth to slide. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so again, looking at these, and put these. I have too much stuff on my desk. And put this up. Here's my my bag of switches, right? Let me get these silents out the way here. And y'all sure y'all don't want a sneak peek of what's coming tomorrow? Like, it's right here. Okay, I haven't seen anything, so I guess not. It's fine. It's fine. So it's my excitement killing me, right? It's fine. So yeah. So let me get these. I got so much to do. Let me get this out the way too. But yeah, you know, given that, so if you're into this style, I have 3 more options in front of me, and I'm glad you mentioned the gap in spacing and all those different things. And now I was messing with something else. I'm going to try a newer keycap or a new switch. The ASI comes with the Kailh Cherry Speed Silvers, I think it is. They don't want to surprise. Vice wants to see. Okay, good. Vice wants to see. Sounds like they don't want to spoil. Yeah, they want to spoil a surprise. I want to show it. Let me. Okay, I'll do it really fast. I'll do it fast. So here is, and I'll cover up what it's talking about. So here's one thing that's coming tomorrow. Yeah, that looks boss. That looks boss. And then here's another that's kind of coming tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Oh yeah. Now I would show this one, but then if I show this one, it's going to show the branding. So I'll wait for that one. I'll show that one later. But yeah, that one's going to be interesting. It's the facts. But I can see my flash. I like the artwork I got going on right now. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I don't know if people realize that's the hardest things come with art. I can't wait to talk about these next week, because I did just like I did with the dual pad A14, A16, or the two A14s where I had like two demons, like good brother, bad brother. On here, I did something very similar where I have a light demon and a dark demon, and we'll, you know, I think it's gonna be really cool to kind of show. And actually, they didn't make it to the review because I didn't have the artwork done in time. But on Sunday, I'll show it all what I did. I'm really excited to talk about this. It's gonna be fun. And I'm curious. So I know, like, so Itru has a DOIO. Have any of the other guys tried the DOIO? They are, like, so they are. Look how cold it is too. Like, you know, when your hands get hot, and so it feels nice to just touch like the cold metal. It's, yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice. Really nice, actually. Really nice. Thanks. Yeah, we're gonna talk. I can't wait to talk about that. It's gonna be so much fun. And, you know, and for those that are late, when I came to like the sizing and spacing, if you like the keyboard style, you know, you found it right here, right? This is exactly that. You're going to function like, and then those like the standard style, I prefer larges, right? But what really got me with the standard is I was testing it out and I got about 2 or 3 hours in and it wasn't sliding off my lap. Like I put grip tape on the bottom, obviously. Oh, and one more thing too. So I ended up doing, I forgot to tell you about this part. This is a fun fact. When I first had that issue of what's going on, I went through the pin viewer and mapper and I mapped every single pin with the permanent marker. I was so frustrated that night. You see here, and then after that, I did it to all of them. I was like, you know what? This came like each one that had issue. I started going through and mapping them, writing down, like, so that way if anything happened again, I could figure out what pin was what and get it all going, right? Because that really drove me crazy. But with this, let's see, show what's going on. Show your favorite levels for Tekken. Okay, I'm gonna let the chat help too. So my favorite levelers for Tekken. This is gonna sound like a crappy answer, but it's the honest truth. There is no favorite. All right, here's what I'm gonna say to this. I wear a triple X writing glove. I have long fingers, right? So for me, the larger pads with the larger buttons, and actually these were fine because they're spaced out. And actually the Speedy Labs, because these are spaced out, even though it's medium, I could play on. The larger ones are better for me because of my large hands. Most people don't mind the smaller buttons with the two large on the bottom or what have you, right? Even like this. So my advice to you is this. You're probably where I was back around Christmas of 2020 of last year. I would say you want one of these as your starter pad. But what I'm about to recommend to you, go into this realizing that once you get one of these, you're planning to upgrade. So let's make sure we clarify this. You were planning to upgrade after you get your first one, all right? And again, I don't know your country, so I don't know what shipping costs are for you and what your cost of living is. I don't know. So I'm going to take this from a sense of an American who's in college that's broke, right? Or has a family and kids and just, you know, whatever, right? Let's go into it. So here are the options I would give in that situation. And I keep bringing shipping costs because I was pinging a guy, he was pinging me on Discord, and we were talking about different things, and he was asking for help with XYZs, right? So then he found what he wanted. He got the M Plus. He had to wait 2 months for his package to arrive where he lives at, and the shipping was $30. So that's why like cost is a factor in this whole thing. So here, these are $60. My advice would be go to AliExpress, and AliExpress always has like weird ads. Look at no weird ads this time. Perfect, right? So look at this. So they're $50. Okay, boom. So here you go. Make sure, yeah, it's COSMOX Games official store, right? I would tell you, you want to look at the S, which is $50 on COD. This will take 2 weeks to get to America, right? Or you can buy it off Amazon for $20 more and get 10% off and get it tomorrow, right? That's one option. The other option is the Hot 42 P12, which is the same thing as the S, basically, right? It's basically the same price. So this one's like $10 more, then I would just get this one, right? Whichever one's cheaper, get that one. The other one that's actually really good is the dual pad C12. It's a 3D printed pad, but it's better quality. And I'll check the chat in a second here. Let's see the pricings. I've looked at prices so long, I don't know what the dual pad, or is it's flat pad? Flat pad, something like that? No, it's dual pad. Dual Pad C12. And also, if you tell me your budget, oh boom, look at that, 37 bucks. Oh, that's there you go. That's a steal. There's some things that are missing. Well, let me click all the versions. Because I think he upgraded this. It's not he or she, it's a team actually, but this company. Because when it first dual mine, doesn't have a pass report. You want a pass report. Does it have it on this one? It doesn't have it. Like $30. Look at it. I don't know which. And you want to try the official stores. TikTok is the official store. Let's see, store. Where are you? No, see, Retro Game. I don't know who. I mean, they could be good, but I don't know who they are, right? I know TikTok. Dual pad, TikTok, flat pad. They're all there. You go, TikTok store. This is the official store, right? So they got 30 bucks. Boom. There you go, 30 bucks, and it's free shipping. This will at least give you a clue. And this, make sure it has V2 Kailh switches. Does that V2? Don't do anything with V1 switches. They are trash. They always break. And there are people that love it. And there's tons of options. I completely agree with you. Yeah, Kailh V2 switches. There you go. Boom. But in my experience, whenever I go Kailh 2, they always break. And it just makes me so upset. It comes with so look, you're gonna have this. It feels like it has metal inside. Actually, I have it right here. I'll show you. Look. I would show you, but I took it downstairs for this review. I forgot it's downstairs, but you can see here. It comes with rubber grip pre-install. It's 3D printed, but it has rubber grip install. It's a type of metal thing inside because it feels weighted. It has an acrylic top, so you can take these screws out and you can change this artwork. But I actually like the samurai. It's simple, it's cool. But my whole point is, it lets you know if you like this, right? Let me scroll up. Let me check the chat real quick. Let me go up. Tekken, Sin, never again pin mark. Yeah, facts, Sin, facts. I marked every single. Let me change the view real quick. Facts. I marked every single one of these with the pins, with the mapping on the backs. That issue will not happen again to me. I tell you that much. Vice. Somehow I feel like the build quality on the DOIO might be better than the Kitsune. You know what's so funny, Vice? I've never had a Kitsune. I've never tried it. Like, I've been looking for one. I know Aamzon has that. It's not refurbished, but like their other version type of thing. I've been trying to get one, but I gotta save up because they're still 200 bucks, 300 bucks, and I don't want to get something I don't want to ever play again just for the sake of review. But I do need to. I need to get that going. Because the M Plus I hear is a really good set too. What's going on, Nullfield? What's going on, brother? Doing good. Have a short stream today because I got some family things going on, but we're just hanging out. We're wrapping up the DOIO week, so these have been out. I've had these for a couple of months, like different versions right now. I've done all three. I put the comparison of the smallest to the medium to the large for version 1. I don't have the version 2 series, but just to give folks that are on the fence and are shopping and looking what to look for. And some lotion here, and getting ready for the holidays, because the people watching reviews has been down a little bit like the past month and a half for me and everybody else. I noticed since school started, things like that. But I was telling my buddy, I was like, I bet you in the next really 30 days I'm expecting more views start coming in, more comments start coming in, because shopping in America, at least, Black Friday's coming, Christmas is coming. There's so many options now. There's gonna be a lot of questions, and yeah, there's so many styles. Yeah, I'm really excited for everybody to get their first lever list. Just like show and really get it going. Sin, I'm biased against Razer. I feel their product QC and quality decline after 2014. Oh, okay, wow. I had one too many die. I trust them anymore. Oh, that's a good point. Even Nullfield said agreed, not to mention the brand price. That's a big point, the brand pricing, right? Because for optical switches, you can just buy this. If you really want optical switches, just buy the Speedy Lab. It's metal, right? It comes with the grip on the bottom. The acrylic top change your artwork. It has 2 extra function buttons you can customize. The optical switches, make sure you buy the optical blacks. In my personal opinion, those are better. So I put the optical blacks in here. The spacing is just, so the C12 that I showed y'all, this has the same spacing as far as smalls and one large, but they're gapped the same space apart. And the price is really good. And you get basically a Kitsune and a medium form, and it comes with a case, like a durable case too, for half the price. More than like a third of the price. Max, Mayflash 02 is almost perfect layout on buttons, big square buttons with no spacing for perfect sliding, but on the left side I need only ASD. Well, Max, if you notice I had like all the buttons here, just don't use these two, use the middle, and you'll get your ASD. If I'm like upside down, but you know what I'm saying? You had it on both sides. You had their 4 and 4. Just use the middle for up for both, and then down and left right. and you can let the rest go. I hope that makes sense. Like right here, look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just set this one and set these 3 and ignore these 2. No Phil, if you're looking for a good mouse, try looking at the MZ1 by Rocket Jump Ninja, who reviewed mice for. Oh, nice. I checked it out. MZ1. That sounds cool. Use a Corsair Scimitar since I use side button remaps for MOBAs and so on. Oh, nice. Vice, best entry level quality. Entry level quality is probably the S16 because the acrylic seems weird to say that's a good quality, but for the price you're paying for that one, well, I take that back. The DualPad C12 it's 3D printed, but it has that weight to it. The quality is for $30. If you were to drop that thing, you wouldn't feel no type of way. So those 2 are I'm on the fence for, because I have the P12 right here. It's like here's the P12, right? And when you hold this, you're gonna be shocked. It feels like a controller, which sounds, it's like, it doesn't feel cheap. But if you've held anything else and you get this, you're like, wait, why does it feel so light? Because it's plastic, it's a controller, right? But it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't creak or anything like that. It just feels like a controller, right? So I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah. Let me check here. So entry level for quality, Vice. Just given the price that I'm looking right now as of this moment for the DualPad C12, that $31, that's a really good price to pay to let you know, do I even want to do this? Right? Because I have way better options than this. Once you get into the actual game of things, I have a better version. But as a starting price, I didn't realize it was $31. And with tax, we'll say it's $35 tax out the door. That's half the price of a PlayStation controller. If you really think about it, that's a really good price, right? Because the S, I was leaning towards the S just because you can customize color. That one to the S. Everyone knows the S. The firmware, you get it fast. Like just there's little things, right? The key, if you like, okay, let me ask you this. Here's a better way to say it. Here's the good comparison. So if you like your spacing slightly closer together, then you'll like the S and P because the gap is so close together. Whereas like if you look at Speed Labs, look at this one, you can see these 3 buttons here are, look how wide my finger fits through. My finger does not fit through here, right? So for me, I would like this layout better, which is the C12. For a lot of people, they like it closer, so you would like the Hot42 S and P layout better, right? But if you want bigger buttons and tighter layout, you want the DualPad A16, A14. If you want this wider layout, you want the Hot42 T12 or T16, right? So and then there's so many, or one of these, especially like this. Wait, I tell you that. And if you want premium quality, these are tight. Like, look, these actually are the same spacing as this. So I think I put in the review, if you're looking at this, if you have like an S or a P, but you want something wider, you want this really, because when you jump to the T, the spacing is wider apart. The spacing is just like this guy, just with larger keycaps. You know, so you can really dial in and find. You're bouncing brands, but underneath the covers they're all GP2040, right? They do all feel different, but at least you know you have an option for those folks that come from this small. They still want it tight together. You can jump to one of these and get that same feel. Let me check the chat here. Sin, have you tried or are you using your pad as a micro pad for MMOs? A macro pad. I think we talked about that right before you got here. So I actually keep this one in keyboard mode, and I use this for editing my videos sometimes. So I have, what do? I have forwards, backwards, cut, splice, like all the little nuance. I forgot. I can't do it wrong, but I'll just hold. I can tap, go fast because I'm using DaVinci Resolve. So fast, forward, slice, and I can show you guys kind of how I map that out. Because on a Mac, there's certain things to get the command button to work. And I got that going, and I was actually shocked that it was actually pretty cool. It worked just fine. Then I used the 12 side buttons for key mapping and the macros on PvE single player games. Just easier to map melees and extra action. Nice. Though that mouse does look interesting. If I didn't do macros, that'd be neat. Nice. No, it's that pad with the art you just showed. Another DOIO. This one, I think you're talking about this. This is the Speedy Labs Light Fox. So this isn't akin to the Razer Kitsune. This has optical switches. Are they the same switches? No, I think the Razer has their own proprietary, but at the end of the day, it's a switch, right? And it's optical, so I can't pull these out. They're actually attached to like a metal plate inside of this. It's easy. You just unscrew it, the plastic clips in, and you know, what have you. It's super easy to do. You put them in, and they have a slightly clicky sound, like slightly clicky, but they're Keychron opticals in this pad, and the build quality, like, is fantastic, and it comes with the case, so like, can't beat that. I think it's like what, $100? Like, see how much is the Speed Labs? And I'll show you the pad that you guys probably would have run into. I'll tell you not to get. Give me a second. Speed Labs Life. Yeah, look, $100. This is nice. So if you know you like this medium layout, you want a premium feel, boom, you found it right here. And like I said, it comes with the case too. So it's like everything you need right out the box is ready to go. The artwork, I think it comes looking something like this out the box, because mine had the art, but it comes with a really good USB C cable, the removal tool, QR code to instructions, and then the case is there. I thought there's a picture of the case. So I don't want to get up and grab it. There it is, boom. I don't want to get up and grab it, but it looks just like a GoPro case, and it feels like a GoPro case. It's really nice. But what I didn't want you guys to look, and there you go, boom. There's the large. So if you like a large with a tight layout, you want the dual pad A14 or A16. And I had that up. I can actually pull that out too. It's acrylic, but it's really nice. It feels really durable. And they put so much. There's the Pararon foam is in here too somewhere. Like, it's got a lot going on. It comes with reds. Just don't buy the EPIG. Make sure you buy the cross, because you don't want those V1 switches. Like, I don't care what anybody says. For me, they're nothing but a headache. I like V2 switches. Here's the A14. And this is, I actually prefer the 14 over the 16 because I don't use these extra buttons. But this pink top, I think that's why I think a lot of people aren't looking at this because it's pink. But it's actually, it's the same thing. Underneath the covers is the same pad. Where's the switch? Oh, there you go. Anyway, let me show you what I was telling you you don't want. You don't want... Where are you? As a starter pad, I started with something like... Where's that? Where are you? Go down. Where's the store link? Because I started with a 3D printed pad that wasn't like this. I didn't know any better. It was something like this. Don't buy this. Don't buy. It was this. Boom. It's this. Yeah, don't buy this. Don't buy this. Right? Your mind's telling you yes, right? My mind's telling me no. No R. Kelly. No R. Kelly anymore. You're not allowed to make R. Kelly jokes anymore, right? But you know, your mind is telling you, oh, it's perfect, right? It's 3D printed. It's $27. That's perfect, right? To dive in and see what you like. The reason you don't want this is it's the same vendor, but for, where'd it go? It was like $3. Here we go. Boom. For $3 more, you get proper pin buttons with labeling on the top. Whereas this, there is no labeling. It's just it's 3D printed with the board wedge inside, and the keycaps 3D printed. It's going to feel... I have this thing. I don't want to knock it too much, but it does feel cheaper. And in today's market, a year ago, I would say buy this. That's what I did. I started here. It was worth it. But now there's so many options. Get this. It's the exact same thing, but better quality. And it's the exact same company, right? So spend the extra $3. You get the better keycaps. You get the better buttons. You get a screen. There's no screen on here. You get a screen. And folks that think you don't need the screen, you do need the screen. You really do. You get the rubber foot on the bottom pre-installed. You get the weight that's in there. Somehow they put weight in there. You get the weight. Look, it comes with the key puller. It's good. It comes with the cord. You do not get a pass-through port, but you don't get that here either, right? So you will have to use an adapter. But at least to your question earlier about what's the best, like entry-level small, this will let you know, do I like this or not? And then you start diving down the rabbit hole of other things that you could really dig into the weeds on, right? So, and then you'll start bossing up to like bigger things. Is the T? Yeah, like you'll start looking at the T, you'll start looking at the R, the M. Like here's the M down. Look, the M looks $100. There's the M plus, excuse me, the M plus right here. So you'll really start figuring out what you want after you start with something, if you even like it, right? Because I had a friend that tried it, he didn't like it, and he went right back to D-pads. Let me check the chat here. Show, thanks by the way. How do these spaced out leverless compare to normal layout for your hands? I'm not sure if I answered that question right, but I don't know what that means. How do these, how, let me change the view, I can't see. How do these spaced out leverless compare to normal layout for your hands? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means, what you're asking me. Let's see here. Since it's kind of hard to beat Hot 42. Yeah, Hot 42's got such a good, and the Hot 42, as far as community is concerned, they have the best community, like hands down. Like folks that get a hot, they talk a lot, they communicate. Like there's a lot going on if you need support. I will say how often you need support is very rare, so I wouldn't let that be a deciding factor when you're buying something. But as far as it's the ones I'm showing in front of you, well, had I not released that video, you may have gotten stuck with your, I don't know, I digress. Like, but Hot 42, you can't go wrong. They have an option for everything. Big hands, small hands, tight fingers, keyboards. Like Hot 42, they are really set themselves as, look, we're going to be the affordable, leverless for every man, right? Every man or woman, every person will find what they're looking for with something with us. So yeah, but yeah. Let me go down. Null field, there's a big advantage to buying the popular choice, especially if you're going budget. Yeah, facts, null, right? For the support, facts. Sweet, good to see you aren't wasting those keycaps. Yeah, wasting all those keys, facts. Yeah. Null field, yes, the light switches. Thanks, no problem. Okay, good. Max, try sliding on your low profile keyboard. It will be perfect. I mean, large, approximately 23 to 25 millimeter square buttons with almost no space in between them. They would be perfect buttons for all hit pads. Interesting. Okay. Okay. It would be perfect. Okay. Nice. Send V1s are probably for more options and budgeted. Yeah, facts. The V1 switch, I will show you guys what they look like. I will show you. Look, this is what the V1 looks like. And I'm showing this because I don't want you guys to buy these. Like, if you're experienced, you know what to do. But most people that are in the, if you're asking this question, you're not experienced. It's called spade a spade, right? And I don't want you to go down the rabbit hole that I went down and walk into a headache that I walked into, that a lot of people walked into. Where's it at? Where's it at? Let's see here. We're at the store. Oh, there's so much stuff here. All right, boom, perfect. All right. So you decide you want a large pad with tighter spacing, right? Do you want an affordable price? Look at that, $50. So you get the DOIO A14. Boom, you're set. This is a V1 switch. See the vampire teeth? Yeah, don't deal with these. They are a waste of time, especially if you slide your fingers. You're gonna have a nightmare because you're gonna slide your fingers today, they're fine. Tomorrow they're fine. The 5th day, 12th day, 1st day, set, whatever day, you're gonna slide. You're gonna snap one of those keycaps. I don't care if they're metal keycaps, if they're plastic, whatever they are. If they're metal, they're gonna be super heavy and annoying and loud and kind of rough on your fingers. They're gonna be like real tacky. If they're just not worth it. Stay away from the EPIG. Like, see this EPIG right here? Let me zoom in. EPIG, don't waste your time, right? When you come here, look at the cross. And they actually spelled this wrong, but it's supposed to say cross edition, right? See now the EPIG, just stay far away from EPIGs. Where'd it go? All right, we'll stick here. The cross A16 you see right there, boom. V2 switch, the plus sign in the middle, this will make you happy. If you like the tight spacing and large pad. And the only reason I'm bringing that up because we talked about the V1 switches, right? The V1s, I'm see how it says EPIG right there and it says cross? Right, make sure you get the cross one. All right. And if you buy one of these, you can switch to cross. I mean, the version 2. The problem I had is the gap where the holes are. When you change the keycaps, they're not going to fit. Like, we'll say 12 out of the 16 were fine, and then 1 or 2 I would push them 3 times, they would wedge. And I was like, oh, what? So I reached out to because I already had both, and I was like, what's going on? They were like, oh, you can't do it that way. So you'll go ta-ta-ta, and you're like, it's stuck. And you can get it out, but like, oh, okay. So just don't waste your time with EPIG buy cross. So I'm going to stop there. And if you get a Hot 42, they all come with V2 switches. The DOIOs, these are GATERONs, but they have a V2 shape. Yeah. You'll be fine. V1s are probably more... though some vendors do make V1 work well. The only vendor I saw make well with the V1s was the Tiki-Taka. The way their rings were set and the way their switches sat in the ring, they had the best ring layout out of all of them. The Tiki-Taka ring to keycap and switch was the best depth as far as like how deep it is, how high it is. I was playing with it. It didn't break. It didn't snap. I could slide. It was freaking out. But I'm so fed up with the V1s. I took them out and put the V2s like almost immediately. And I wish show y'all, but I have it downstairs. But yeah, so yeah, I agree, Sen. Yeah, if you're making a keyboard, it's fine. But for people that are playing fighting games, I would just say get V2s and don't look back. It's a toss up for times. Yep, facts. I think it's a split style versus the crunches together ABC style. Maybe what we're referring to. Okay, got you. I'm sorry, got you. No, Phil, would you recommend the Light Fox pad? Okay, what I recommend the Speedy Labs Light Fox to the S, the T, or the M Plus. How do I answer that? Okay. So what I recommend in this pad, yes. What I recommend it compared to the S, the T, and the M Plus, they're selling you different things, right? So look here. Here is the P to the Speedy Labs, right? And I really got to drive home that none of these pads are better than the other. Like, these are metal. As far as build quality, these are better out of all of them. Just because it's metal, it's acrylic, like blah blah blah. Well, actually, the M is really nice, but and this is metal too. So I'm gonna stop saying. So as far as that, right, there is no best, right? Let me get this out the way, right? It's all about your hand preference and spacing and size. And if I know you're thinking, well, I'm at home, I can't figure this out. That's why I think this the dual pad C12, if it's in your budget. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. The dual pad C12 is in your budget is a good starting point, because for that $30, at least you're trying things out to see what you like. And if you catch one of these on sale, like a Hot 42, like a S or a P, then get that, right? For folks that know what they like, the S, the T, the M Plus, and the Light Fox, there really is no comparison. Yeah, I'm trying to answer the question. It feels like I'm probably talking in circles. I'm not, but I have so many. I've come to define that it's not the control that makes you win. It's your hand spacing and your key switch height that helps you win. That's really what it is. And as far as switch height, they're all the same. But as far as spacing, these are slightly closer. So if you like, yeah, I'm sorry. I hope I'm trying to make sense of well, it's probably not, but that's what I honestly think. For you, Noel, if you're on the fence, right? And it seems like Hot 42's come up a lot, so I think you trust that brand, right? And I would tell you this: get an S16 or a P16, whichever is cheaper. Get that at the cheapest price you can, and then play on that for a good month, right? And then you'll start to see, because it takes about a month to get used to playing this way. Now you start winning. You're like, okay, I like this. Now you can start asking yourself, do I want the buttons closer, further, bigger? All those things will start playing. Make more sense. I hope it makes sense what I'm saying that. Let's see. For example, TikTok S15 layout versus T16 layout. They got different layouts, right? Okay, so with the Tiki-Taka, let me show you what the Tiki-Taka looks like, because there's a point to be made about the R16 and the Tiki-Taka, to be completely honest. Because they're different. They're very different. All right, so here's the Tiki-Taka S15. Did I spell that right? Tiki-Taka. Here we go, boom, right there. All right, so here's Tiki-Taka. I like this layout. This one I've used this one. I used this one. I had actually a good time. I was shocked that I liked it so much. So here you can see it comes with 3D printed keycaps. I didn't like those, but that's fine. It comes with the V1 switches. I didn't like those. That's fine. I just popped them off, took them off, right? But the rings here, I don't even like rings. They're just kind of cool. I wish they were smooth, but either way, this pad was really comfortable. I like the fat buttons on the bottom. The fatty on the bottom, and then the smalls across the outside, right? But it was actually really comfortable and a really good pad. I didn't realize it's 118. Another thing, you cannot change the artwork. You cannot use a pass-through port. You have to hook this to an adapter. It does not have a screen. So it feels like a version 1 of their product where they're going, but I like where they're starting. But when it comes to the price, and now let me show you this. Okay, so now you've seen that, right? I'll show you another thing. It's about to go back. All right, so here's the Hot 42 T16. All right, so here's a T16. So you can see here, this is $60, right? So what makes the conversation tough is, for half the price, you're getting a pad that has a pass-through port, and that does matter. I think anyone that's used these for long enough will tell you it does matter. It comes with the V2 crystals out the box, which is really nice. It comes with the screen, and the screen does matter. I'll be honest, it does. They're both acrylic, essentially. This way you can put custom artwork on the top and the bottom, right? So, also, now let me show you the visual, right? So we always talked about hand size, right? If you had my T is over there, but anyway. So the tiki-taka, the button you touch is actually small, right? The ring is here, but the button you touch is small, okay? But if I take this keycap off and I put it on top of here, that is the button plus the ring. It's this big. So even though it says small buttons across, given the ring, the spacing is actually T spacing. So the T and the tiki-taka feel very similar, not the same, but very similar as far as spacing, because the ring makes it a full-size switch, right? But the part you touch is smaller. So to say all that to say, if you're on the fence, you might as well get the T in that situation, because yes, the T is going to be wider and the butt's going to be bigger, but in theory it's going to feel similar, and I hope that kind of makes sense. So in your, okay, so no, like I said, no, I was saying either get this S16 for the cheapest price or the T16. You know what? No, I kind of take that back. Now I'm looking at it. For $10 more, you get a T. I prefer the T. That's just me. That's just because of my hand size and my preference, right? Where's the S? The S right there. So for $50, 51 bucks, you get the S. And okay, so there you go, no Phil. You need to really ask yourself. It's not. There's no right answer. Do I like the smaller buttons closer together with one large on the bottom, or do I like the larger buttons all across? As simple as that. So I know that's a tough one for you to ask yourself, and I know it's just tough, right? But that's what you're looking at between the two. And then also, do I like to play my lap? All those little things. So for both of you guys, Show and Null, I hope that kind of gives you guys a visual of kind of. Let me get one more thing. Let me show you this. Look. Let me show you this. All right, so here we go, right? All right, so I got too much stuff in front of me. Right. Here's the T16 with the Onimusha Samurai with the blacked out keycaps, the blood splattered across because I've been murdering folks all day long. This pad is a boss pad, right? So you see this pad here, and then we take the P, right, which is basically an S. All right, let's take the stands off. Right. So look at the spacing here. See these 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You can see it's tighter on the P, right? And you're probably like, well, I can't really tell because I'm on my cell phone. All right, cool. I'll show you. Look, here's a USB adapter. See how like it's fitting through there, right? But look at this. Almost the whole body fits. The body does fit through there. Almost the whole body. Well, there it doesn't. It's probably not a good example, but at least you kind of get a clue. This is wider than this. So for me, I play on these are fine. But for me, I go into boss mode when I switch to this one, right? Because it's just wider. So like here, I'm kind of moving it down. Hopefully I keep my fingers together. See how it's like not in line? Now I get a little closer. Now I'm in line. So I hope that kind of gives you a visual. And then I say I have to say this. My point was, now we're back to the dual pad, right? Alright, so here we have the dual pad A16, right? Both of these are 16 acrylic pads. They're both in same similar pricing, right? But when you look at the buttons, look at the left side. Look how much. This is a very good example here. Look at this. Take this off. These 3 buttons here are almost as wide as these 4 buttons here. Look at that. So that goes back to the question of how you want your spacing. But the keycaps are the exact same size. And actually, this is actually bigger body than this one, like barely. But as far as the layout's concerned, the T is wider. And yeah, if you look right across, I never really sat these on top like this. You put them like, look at that. You can see the spacing there, very clear. And I'll leave it like this so you can pause, whatever, and take a good look. But that's really driving your decision. The price is one, and then how you like your spacing, right? So I hope that helps give a good visual. Let me check the chat real quick to see if that helped. My bad. Samurai, that's correct. No, it's calling. Okay, so let me go up. Oh, wow, I missed a lot. Would you recommend the Lightspeed pad? Yeah, so Summer Cell is correct. Didn't know what to call them. Like Fox, my bad. Yep, no problem. If you like the snack box style leverless, there you go. Quality and really hard. Up for low profile switches that are 1.1 millimeter actual is a solid option. There you go. Facts. If you don't mind 1.2 millimeter actuation, there are a lot more options you could choose from that. You can't really go wrong with facts. If you want optical switches, like Fox is the way. Yep. To save on go and continue facts. Then it's really down to what size button. Yes, exactly. No feel. Yeah, the price and screen are the only major problems I'm seeing. Okay. Sin, you would think the screen is just a nice gimmick, but really helps with trouble. It does. The screen does sound like a gimmick at first, and when you're new, you're not even going to notice. You're not even going to care. Like, okay, well, I have a screen. What to do? But once you're like, well, you may not even set your splash screen, which seems like something kind of petty, but once you start really using these every day, or like going to someone's house and switching consoles, different things, the screen's a lifesaver. Or if a button's acting funny, because you're like, I put the switch in, it was working. It's one of these. I put the switch in, it was working, and then it stopped working. I was like, what's going on? Well, I took it out. I didn't know one of the legs were bent. I didn't even know. And it wasn't so I was looking here, I'm pressing, and it wasn't activating. I was like, oh, I thought the firmware acted up. It was all the switch. Again, I'm learning as I go along. The firmware is never your issue. The way the firmware was pushed could be your issue, which is not the software issue. That's just how you did it, right? But yeah, it really does help you recognize, like, troubleshoot what's going on with your stuff. So I like that a lot. Yes, no, I meant the R16 actually, but I guess no, really. The R16, yes, the R16 and the Tiki-Taka. Get whichever's cheaper. To be completely honest, get whichever's cheaper, because they both feel very similar. Only thing is Tiki-Taka's ergonomic. What I'm talking about, that one's ergonomic. So Tiki-Taka, and it has 3 USB-C ports. I like Tiki-Taka a lot, but if you're asking this question, that means you never played all 3. You really won't notice what I noticed. That would just tell you get the R16, you'll be happy. Yeah, that's really the fact of the matter. Yep, facts. At this point, you can make it rain past. Yeah, my wife was kind of getting like, all right, we're gonna get rid of things. What's this? What's that? I was like, what? That's why I started making these stands, so I could keep it nice and neat, organized. They're not, because imagine laying these out flat somewhere. It's a nightmare. With this way, you guys don't know this, but I stack them like, see the groove here? I can actually shift this down, and I can wedge these. Look, and they're perfectly next to each other, and the buttons never touch. So that's why I made the stand. I 3D printed the stands, and I was like, see, look, now I have space. So it worked out really good. And also, to be honest, like, I have so many for these situations. When people start asking questions, I can really help by showing a visual. And then the answer actually helps me, because I didn't realize until he asked, can you slide on these? I don't use them, so I didn't think about doing that. But I didn't realize the gap was actually tighter. Even the B, all the different things, I didn't realize that. So the question got asked, so it really helps, right? What pad you compare? What pad did you compare with the T? That's the dual pad. This is the dual pad A16. And this pad is the closest reference to the Hot 42T. This pad is fine. The only issue you run into with this, if you update your firmware all the time, this may take you an extra 2 weeks to a month to get that firmware, which is not an issue, just like an FYI. What's different about this? It comes with the switches up top, and what do these matter? If you're in a tournament, like the P has this too, you can turn this off and it'll turn these buttons off. And you're like, well, why do I care? If you press a button during a tournament, you get disqualified, or you lose that round or that set, right? That'll lock it. To change your SOCD, if you want to go like with Tekken, when you're designing your character, you go to left stick to move it and right stick to spin it. There's a switch right here. You flick it and it'll go right. You can change these directionals to left stick, right stick. Or you keep it in D-pad all the time. You can do that. And it has SOCD right here, so neutral, blah, blah, blah. They're all on the top. Whereas on the P, the tournament switch is right here. Right? So that's actually, this had it before the P, but there you go. Right? So, and for the price, and the build quality is fantastic. And if you can afford switches, I put Ghost switches in mine, O-rings. For the price, and make sure it's the Cross V2. It's a really good starting point. The pass-through port's right here on the side. It's a good starting point. But if you like the T, you can't. I mean, for $10 more, you get the T, right? So it's kind of like they're basically the same price. It's a toss-up for you to figure out what you like. It goes back to finger spacing at that point. But they're both really good. And when it comes to Hot 42, you can't go wrong. The dual pads, you can't go wrong either, from my experience so far. Yeah, they're really good. And then when you want to go premium, where I like the T or the dual pad, but I want like something a little bit more compact with a case to travel with, and it's durable. The Speed Labs Light Fox is fantastic, right? Yeah, these are all fantastic as well. Because this one, the Speed Labs are akin to each other. I think I put them in the review because these are both metal. They're both premium mid-size. The only difference is you can see this one's wider, right? So, I mean, in use is not a difference. You won't notice difference, but the switches will feel different in use, barely the sound like. But yeah, they're both fantastic. These two are both metal. They're nice, and they come fully loaded, right? Let's see. They need to be stored cleanly and out of the way to avoid wife anger. Facts. Yes, they do. That is a fact. Yeah, but I keep saying I'm going to show that picture. I need to show you all that picture of how I had these stood up. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because then you'll really get a glimpse of what I do with these stands, how I use it. Because for me, it allows me to store like multiples in the same place, just kind of keep it all there. I lost it. I'll find the picture one day and I'll show y'all. I'll definitely show y'all one day. Yeah, no problem. No feel. And there's where I found it. It's really tough. No, it's tough to figure out. But again, just it sounds like you feel more comfortable with a hot free too. Just get the S or the P, whichever is cheaper, or the T. The T and the S are the same price basically. Ask yourself, do I want large or smalls? I don't prefer the 16 personally, but I'm telling you to buy a 16 because I'd rather you buy a pad with extra buttons and you just take them out than buy a pad with less buttons and you're wishing you had more. So just get that 16 version, whatever one, and try it out, see what you think. And with the Hot 42s, a lot of times too, if you go to like a local FGC, you could probably sell it for, we'll say $40 or $30. I don't quote me, maybe $20, but you're at least getting some. I don't think you're going to sell it. I never sold mine, but I'm kind of just dropping it out there. I think you're going to, any of these options I've shown today, I think you'll like. I didn't show you guys anything I wouldn't like, except for the 3D printed pad. Like I said, don't buy that because it's just not worth it, that 3D printed pad. Because they've come so far now. There's better options for roughly the same price at this point. Okay, here's that. Let me just show you guys this. Okay, so let me copy this link. Copy link. All right, so let's see if this shows up over here. This might show up. Yeah, there's nothing crazy there. So here's kind of how I move over. So if y'all look close here, there's actually 2 per row to fit inside. This is a standard cubicle from like Target or anywhere else, like the 12 by 12, 13 by 13, something like that, right? So I have stands printed for all of them. Y'all can't see my mouse, dang it. So if you look close, there's an M and an M, a T12, a T12, a dual pad, a Tiki Taka, and a R6, Tiki Taka and a T16, a R16 with something else behind it. The next one is the dual pad Pro with something behind that. The M13 and then the ASI LVL right behind that. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 in one cubicle. I actually fit more, but I leave space so I can like shift them and slide them. This is how I tend to do it. But yeah, once I put the stands on, I was like, oh nice. I'm out to the races now. Now I can put a bunch of stuff in here and I'm not like, and she can't complain because it looks neat. I don't have too many controllers. I just have controls on countless options. That's a good way to put it. I don't have too many. We all feel different. So that's where I'm fortunate enough in this position, right, to say this, where there is no better, right? And don't let anyone tell you anything is better or you should buy this, buy that. There is no better. It's all about your hands, your type. And what you prefer, because the switches that come on this B, the G has these switches inside, and for me they were just too tall, or they I don't know, they just for my hands they didn't like it, right? And I remember, like I told you, I have to use an ergonomic keyboard because my hands on a regular keyboard, they hurt. So you'll find what works for you, but just find the cheapest, smallest option first, and then work your way up, and you'll be happy. Yeah. So in the off chance one does have issues, you're living on that burnfield status. Facts. You know what's so funny though? I don't like tearing my stuff up, right? So I have so many options. When I go to the locals, which is pretty rare, when I go, I'm like, oh god, which one I want to take? What if someone spills a drink on my T12 or my M Plus? Like, there's so many good quality things I have that I'm just like nervous to take out because I don't want to get messed up. where it's like, if it gets broken, I have other options to use. But so what, right? I don't know. It's what it is, right? It is what it is. I think that's my internal demons, right? That's my internal demon, right? But yeah. But yeah, it really, and I try my best when I use different things to share my feedback with the vendors. Well, here's my opinion. Here's what I think. Here's what I think will help. And I treat them all the same. And they, you know, like with this one, you know, the space is tighter. The dual pad was tighter because that was early in my experience, right? So I had the T to the D, the dual pad, A16. And I was like, hey, these spaces are really tight. You know, you guys should think about spreading it out. And he said to me, he was like, you know, that's a good idea. We don't mind that. But our audience is heavy East Asia. And the East Asian audience, they liked the larger keycaps, but they liked it tighter together. And then I started getting more pads in that are tighter. And I started realizing, oh, you know, the Western audience, we just like it maybe more spaced out. Whereas the Eastern Asian audience like it a little spaced together. That's just, or there are folks I know like the keyboard, right? Everyone. And then I stopped finding a preference and I start realizing this is a good thing. No matter who you are, you can find what you like. Because think of it this way. What if this was the only controller you could buy? For me, sometimes I get cramped because these buttons are here. I prefer the Xbox staggered, personally, right? If this was the only option, I'd be screwed. So it's so nice that you could find which pad, which spacing, all the different things is good for your fingers. And then now once you have that, you can start knowing, okay, I like this. You can, if it breaks, you drop it. I don't know, something crazy happens. You can at least fast forward and start getting different things. I like a small one like this and a big one like this. Well, if you had this now and you wish you had a fatter bottom, the spacing here is practically the same. Look at that. They're basically the same layout. Just this has larger keycaps, these are smalls, and one large on the bottom, right? So you can go from this, and you could call it a downgrade, but it's really, as far as material, this is metal. Let's not play games. This is metal, this is acrylic. But in use, it's not a downgrade. It's the exact same thing. It's just your body gets more space to sit, right? So yeah, it's really nice. In the past 9 months, the market has really taken off, and it's only getting bigger. It's so, you know, it's really nice that we all have so many options. So I'm just waiting for the combo button pre-order to ship, upgrading the OG hitbox from Sandwich. And I think I told y'all I haven't. This week I can't talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it next week. I need to get that review done this week so I can start talking about next week. The thing that's coming up next does have larger arcade buttons, and they Kwamba sent me the wrong buttons. And then I reached out to support and they told me there's a Chinese holiday right now. So kind of like we have our Thanksgiving week, there's something going on, I don't know the holiday, where people are out for the week last week and they won't have their team back until next week to help. So I mean, I wasn't mad, but it does kind of suck that, all right, well, I ordered from the vendor, you guys sent me the wrong product, now I gotta wait, which kind of sucks, right? But it's neither here nor there, but that's, you know, life happens, right? Life happens. But yeah, it's been a good week with these DOIOs. I personally at this point, right, 90 days in, well, it's like 90 60 30. Wow, it is like that. Wow, I didn't realize that. Or 60 30, something weird like that. These are almost the same time. Anyway, it's October. Dang, it's already October. This year's flying by. So yeah, I feel confident in all three of these, and I would just tell you, if you're looking at these three, just buy the version 2s. That way you can use GATERONs or Kailh V2 switches, which I didn't know when I ordered at the time, but now I do know. The V2 does give you that option. The V2 has some lines across the Pro, which I don't like, but that's neither here nor there. I do like the smooth look of the Pro, like this, and it has like a few lines right there on the top, but it's just smooth and polished. I guess it's kind of a fingerprint mandate, but does anybody care about fingerprints? I hear reviewers say that, but I've never cared, right? I just use the stupid thing, so I don't really care. I have just had fun. I wanted to win, but yeah. Right, so I love the ergonomic. I'm actually becoming a huge fan of ergonomic layouts, to be honest. The Tiki Taka is, I would say right now, my favorite ergonomic is the Tiki Taka S15 with V2 switches. Yep. And because it's made out of acrylic too, so it's like a harder acrylic, but it's there. But yeah, all the things, yeah, for sure. But this one, if you have this one, you know, like I do, it's nice. It plays really nice. It's really good, and it's premium. Like, how much is this thing? Because for the price, it's almost like the Tiki Taka is your starting point, and this is your buy up into like the premium, right? But yeah, Just cloth it. You just cloth it and paint, no big deal. Yeah, that's a good point, Sin. Just cloth it with some soap and water and kind of keep it moving. And I don't even bother. I'm like, all right, it's fine. I grab it, I use it, put it back on the shelf. Right. But I do, yeah. This might start being my travel pad, because the M16 was my travel one for a little while, but it's kind of small. And the M Plus, let's not pretend. The M Plus, one day I forgot what pad I took one day because I didn't want to break one of my goes. And I was kicking myself I didn't take my M Plus. This is like early on. And now I have so many options. Yeah, I'm open to all of them now. The only ones I don't really travel with are the small ones, just because, again, my hand size and my lap size, I'm 6 feet tall. Putting this on my lap, I look like a giant, like all scrunched up with this thing, right? But at home on my desk, I have no problems. But on my lap, yeah, it's not play games. I look a little, like, you know when like you see the dads sitting with their daughters on the little kids table? That's how I feel with the S and the P, because I'm so big. Whereas on the table, it's just fine. And that's, again, what's surprising with this. On my lap, I wasn't scrunched up. It was like the buttons are tighter, but it was fine. And even surprising with the tighter buttons, it didn't bother me. I don't know why. So that was good. That was a good thing. Might just be cliche talking to point color. Yeah, facts. I have an M16, so it has similar fingerprint pickup. Yeah, facts, right? Military grade leverless controls. facts. These are all in the military grades class of leverless. Yeah, they definitely are that. And yeah, once you, again, anyone that asks me from now on, if you ask about a DOIO, I'm gonna tell you the firm. And you know what's funny? It's not just these. When I had that initial issue back in August with this one, and I was like, what is going on? I thought I messed them up. As I was looking for firmware for DOIO, their other products had the same issue. They're all metal. Like, their build quality is fantastic, but I guess we'll say 6 months through, and whenever they had made that initial batch of things, they were getting bad firmware, because it wasn't Hitpads. They were like computer dials. They were some type of like tools for something. I don't know what they were, like DJing equipment. I don't know what they were, but folks in that area too were saying, hey, where can I get new firmware? Like, something was up. So I think they were having a problem with their machines back then. And it sounds to me like if they're coming with 079, they fixed that issue and they're off to the races. So you won't experience that, but you know, if you did, it's not a big deal. It's not hard to fix. Super easy. And like I said, this puller on these, like, here's the stock switch. This thing, it's not going to come off. See how, like, it won't get in there, because see how tight the spacing is in there? So look at this. Yeah, look at this button here. See how, like, there's a gap. There's something you can stick it in there. This won't fit. So don't get mad at yourself if this, you're like, why am I dumb? Like, I can't figure this out. It's the tool. It's not you. If you have this standard puller that comes to everything else, you just take one side and just wiggle it in there, and look, I'm under. Boom, just like that, right? So it's not you. Yeah, it's not you. So, but you know, besides all those little nuancy things in use and in your house and like carrying it around and traveling with it, yeah, you're gonna be having to pull this thing out. It does feel a little heavy too. So if someone tries to attack you, just hit him in the head with your DOIO, or just grab this one. Ah! You'll get away for sure. You'll knock them out cold. Yeah, you're really gonna like the premium feel of it all. I mean, don't go drop your controller facts from a second floor. Yeah, don't do that. But I'll hold up for some backpack travel. Yeah, definitely. And I do. Don't quote me. You know, I'm not saying you should do this, but I put this lanyard because I did feel like the way it felt in my hand. If you put this in your backpack, like clipped it on, and it's kind of like, you know, it's bouncing off the side. This feels like it's not going to get damaged because it is kind of beefy the way they're made. They're really nice. And it feels dense. That's kind of cool. It's for the keyboard users, it's very dense, but yeah. Yeah, where's this super light? This feels solid, but it's just, you know, yeah. Yeah, they're all really good. But yeah. So that is that. Like, so this is a short stream, just kind of hanging out. I got to wrap up at 2 o'clock, so like at 5 minutes. So I just want to chat, hang out, and talk about the DOIO. I'll be playing. I mean, I would play them right now. You guys see me play these in tournaments like that. So I played all these in person. So that's kind of covered. New review coming tomorrow. So please give a like and a, you know, comment. Hey, great job, or thanks for review. Something that helps the algorithm push the review out tomorrow. I'm excited about that. And hopefully we'll have some comparison videos coming out later in the week or the weeks to come, something like that. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Was it? We've evolved from board checking with skateboards to KOP with leverless. What a time to be alive. Yeah, that's such a good point, because this thing, I mean, for men pockets, this might fit in my back pocket, but you know what? This will fit in my back pocket. So you're walking into somewhere and you're like, oh, it's just a controller. I left my friend's house. And boom! It's gonna crack somebody in the face. Yeah, you will definitely evolved. We've definitely evolved. But all right, everybody, y'all have a good weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.